Hello, I'm Brian Sapinski from Lost Silver Productions, and welcome to this week's edition of Convention Attention Abridged. We got a lot to cover this week because so much has been happening, although, as you'll find out in a little bit, I'm sure most of you were pretty busy with one particular item, but let's get started. Man, in the past week, we have become knee deep in anime premieres and anticipated arrivals. At last weekend's Anime Expo alone, Sentai Filmworks announced plans for 7 stateside dubs of their titles: Ushio and Tora, Gate, Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma, Himoto Umaru-chan, Amagi Brilliant Park, Monster Musume, and the amusingly titled Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? And on top of these, the highly anticipated premiere of Season 2 of Attack on Titan was officially penciled in by the show's staff at the Shingeki Matsuri event in Japan for a spring 2017 premiere. And over here stateside, Toonami fans are gearing up next week for the premiere of one of this year's hardest-hitting shows, One Punch Man, on July 16th at midnight. So much anime to keep track of. What do you guys recommend for me? Let me know in the comments section below. I could use all the help I can get. I've been noticing recently that Nintendo's been on kind of a copyright kick lately. When I go to conventions, one of my favorite places to get t-shirts, T-Turtle, who made this awesome Pokemon poker shirt, actually had a cease and desist given to them by Nintendo to stop making shirts like this featuring their characters. And one of our big prize contributors, Sanchi, who creates these awesome, and I mean absolutely awesome, Pokemon badge sets, they decided a few months ago to stop making new ones of those because they're worried of the same kind of cease and desist happening to them. So believe me folks, if you haven't gotten a set already, go to Sanchi.com and check them out. Get a set of your own. I've got mine waiting. Scott's holding it for me. But anyway, those are not the only people that have been facing the wrath or potential wrath of Nintendo recently. A Kickstarter campaign by Bitmap Books was created for a project called NES Famicom, a Visual Compendium, a book featuring written content and artwork from the classic NES-era video games. Nintendo had the project shut down, citing the Digital Millennium Copyright Act for unauthorized use of its artwork, game screenshots, and even a modified Nintendo seal of approval like the ones you used to see on their merchandise back in the day. The Kickstarter had already generated over 170,000 British pounds in funds before the shutdown, but organizer Sam Dyer hopes to get the legal issues cleared up to allow the project to continue. It would be an amusing book for sure, an amazing book too. I would certainly want to see it, but let this be a lesson to all of you out there who want to start similar type of projects and not just ones relating to Nintendo. If you really want to do this with property that isn't yours to begin with, seek the best lawyers out and make sure that you are absolutely in the clear. Do it for your own safety. So last week we talked about a Pikachu ketchup campaign going on in Japan. Well, as it turns out, coming soon, there's going to be an anime-themed breakfast hitting the streets of Japan too. To celebrate the conclusion of the second season of Assassination Classroom in Japan, a special Koro Kitchen food truck will be out near the Fuji TV building during the Odaiba Mina no Yume Tairiku 2016 festival, which will run from July 16th to August 31st. In addition to other treats and merchandise, the truck will be serving signature pancakes bearing the likeness of the yellow tentacle teacher. I know we've all made faces with our pancake breakfast before, but that smile is just too spine-chilling for me. I'll stick with my Western omelet. Thank you very much. As we showed in last week's abridged podcast, the otaku world has an interesting way of bringing people together you wouldn't expect. But if you thought last week's wedding was strange, try this on for size. Earlier this year, YouTuber fan theorist Matthew MatPat Patrick got a chance to do what few people in this world ever get to do: meet the Pope. And in this audience with Pope Francis, he upheld the time-honored tradition of bringing him a gift. So what does a geek like us give someone like the head of the Catholic Church? What else? A video game. And not just any video game, but the game of 2016. Yes, that's right, he gave him Undertale. In a 16-minute video on YouTube, MatPat explains in his reasons for giving the game, quote, "I gave the Pope this game because it speaks his language. This year is his self-proclaimed year of mercy for the Catholic Church, a period celebrating forgiveness and compassion when one could otherwise choose to harm a person. And what's the recurring theme throughout Undertale? Mercy. Undertale represents an evolution for gamers and what they expect from the games that they play, making it the single best representative of where we are as a community today." I'll agree with him maybe with that last comment, but my mind can't help but thinking two things. Number one, does MatPat even expect Pope Francis to play this game? And number two, even if he does, we know that the game's perfect ending is obtained through total mercy, but how screwed up would it be if Pope Francis experimented with total genocide instead? And if you think about it, knowing how the game remembers what you did the last time you played, the next time that you played through it, that would bring a whole new meaning to when Jesus said, "He whose sins you retain are retained," doesn't it? Please note, I am Catholic, but even if I wasn't, the previous comments were made strictly for the purpose of thought-provoking conversation and in no way are meant to devalue the religion nor to enforce any specific religion upon anyone. If you are still offended, I'm sorry, but please find some other way to feel. Life is too short to be offended. It's not worth it, ever. Well, you knew we were going to be talking about this, because everybody in the world is on the go. Pokemon Go, that is. Well, everybody except me for right now. I'll stick with good old Pikachu here on the 9 of Spades for right now. But anyway, you know how the thing works by now. It's a special app that lets you catch Pokemon in the real world. And it's already produced some very interesting and amusing results. For instance, the fact that churches, who once denounced Pokemon as evil and satanic, here we go with the religion again, are now ironically hotspots in the game as either rest stops or even Pokemon gyms. Or perhaps even wackier are the locations that some people are finding Pokemon. Some that are being memed around the world, including finding Magikarp in your shower or already in your frying pan ready for the fish fry. But my personal favorite had to be this one where someone found a dead mouse on the road and a Rattata standing over it. Without missing a beat, I could only think of one thing when I saw this. "Hello, my name is Inigo Rattata. You killed my father. Prepare to die." Finally, on a sad note, news broke this week that on June 30th, Japanese voice actress Natsuko Hara revealed on her blog that she has been diagnosed with cancer. The 27-year-old, who has voiced in several anime, including Onigiri and JK Meshi, canceled her July 9th appearance at the C3 Chard Expo event in Singapore to focus on her treatment. But she has vowed that it is treatable and that she will be seeing her fans again as early as the Doki Doki Festa on July 15th. Our best wishes for a successful recovery in the months to come. That's all the news that we have for now. Be sure to be back here next Friday night at 8 p.m. for our debut podcast of Convention Attention, where our subject that night will be Sonic the Hedgehog at 25, the best and the worst of Sonic's 25-year history. If you're a Sonic fan or know somebody that is, come on and join us next week on our podcast. We'd love to have you. And if you like this video and all of our other ones, be sure to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube, as well as on our Facebook page at facebook.com/LostSilverProductions. And please also support us on our Patreon at patreon.com/LostSilver, all of which in the links below, to support our convention game shows and for a chance to score some cool swag, including the Card Sharks cards that you see behind me here. I'm Brian Sapinski from Lost Silver Productions, and we'll see you on the con floor soon.